in terms of how you would be able to actually land a better job. So, brothers and sisters, in DNC section 104:15, the Lord has declared us that it is my purpose to provide for my saints. So this revelation is actually a promise from the Lord that He will provide temporal blessings and open the door of self-reliance, which is the ability for us to provide the necessities of life for ourselves. And also, other than that, we so that we would also provide uh, things for our family members. So by the end of this discussion or training, you will be able to first identify opportunities and networks to join with to land a better job, and you'll also learn on how to present yourself professionally and how you would be able to prepare yourself for job interviews. Other than that, you'll be able to also set your goals for potential contacts and interviews in the future. And lastly, you'll learn how faith, hard work, and learning the job search can help you get a great job and provide for your family. So, as we all know, we have a lot of opportunities, or we have a lot of resources uh, dito in different industry. So, if you would like to really find a job, there are a lot of platforms like Facebook or any job boards where you could, plug in your resume. And aside from that, there are a lot of resources in YouTube on how you would be able to, nail an interview, or how you would be able to better create a resume. But as a product of self-reliance program services, uh, hindi na ako lalayo. So most of the resources that I'm actually using, even to the recruitment firm that I have right now, I normally help my candidates and get my resources from church. So we have a lot of resources sa simbahan that we can definitely use in order for us, to learn on how we would be able to find a job, how we would be able to nail in the interviews, and how we would be able to, create our resume and make connection or do networking for us to see on how we would be able to help ourselves and other people to land a better job. So um you have to start your job search first by knowing what kind of jobs do you want. So it should be something that you're qualified for. So for this, many job seekers fail to do this actually. So uh, you don't want to waste your time like considering all these kinds of jobs. Like for example, um, you are applying for a certain, you have seen a job posting of your friend, and then you just submitted your resume. So you don't know if you are qualified or not. Basta sinubmit mo lang yung resume mo. So the thing is, when you submit it to when you submit it to your friend, you would expect that somebody will contact you. And if they will not contact you, that means that you're not qualified for the position. So we don't want to get into the point that we will not we will not we will be disappointed that will not be that the recruitment firm or the company that we tried to apply to did not contact us, because initially we did not really check if we are qualified for the position, or we did not really ask or assess ourselves or evaluate ourselves if this is something that we need to do. So you will find a job quicker if you focus on just few kinds of job that you think you'll be happy to do. So if you do not if you do not know what job you want, take some time talking with other people and finding helpful information to figure it out quickly. So most of the time, the people around you are the people who knows what are you capable of doing. So if you are showing if you showcase your skill sets, or that your talents that you have, then what's gonna happen is that you'll be referred to other people in terms of what they think you are capable of doing. So actually, many of job seekers take stabilizing job to support themselves while they'll look to prepare for a better job. So in that case, we tend to just really become jumpy sa trabaho natin. So ang gagawin natin, for example, I I would be, for example, a registered nurse ako, and while I'm waiting for me, I mean, I'm a nursing graduate, and while I'm waiting for me to become a registered nurse, I try to find my luck to land a job in the BPO industry or call center industry. But eventually, we would realize that that's not really our calling. It's not something that we want to do. So we have to assess ourselves if that's something that we really want to do, or if we would apply to a call center company, we need to make sure that what we are applying for is aligned or relevant to the course that we take. So it needs to be something in a healthcare account, or we need to apply for a position that is related sa course natin. Kasi in BPO industry, there are different accounts that you can apply to, like telecommunication support, or a support for a healthcare industry, a healthcare insurance, or a support um, for uh, um, a company that provides technical support. So may mga ganong factor. So we always need to check if what exactly we are applying for. So sabi nga ni President Spencer Kimball, work brings happiness, self-esteem, and prosperity. So it is the means of all the accomplishments that we have. It is the opposite of idleness, and we are commanded to work. So it's better if we will look for a job that fits, or something that we are happy to do. Kasi when you're happy with what you do, you'll never feel that you're working for the entire of your life. That's a promise. So successful job seekers work hard. So you get out of the job, search what you put into it, and the harder you work, the quicker you get a job. So your work should consist of identifying resources and making contacts every day. So you need to really have two things in mind when you're looking for a job, especially when you're a starter. First is you need to have a resource, and the second one is you need to have a contact. First, a resource is any source of information or connection that will contribute to a successful job search. It can be a person, a place, or a communication platform. So you have to check on the companies that you're interested in to work, and do some research about them, and check their website and then Facebook page to see what are their job openings. And normally on their career page, you would see their job opportunities that you can apply to. So in this case, your resource are like the platforms like in Facebook, or the companies that you are targeting to apply to. So if you feel like you're ready for you're ready to apply for the job, first thing that you have to do is check first their website, check what they are doing. And then once you knew what exactly they are doing, check on the career page if what are the openings that they have, and make sure that you read the job description before you apply. Because if you would just simply apply without knowing what exactly is the job that you'll be doing, you'll never gonna be prepared for the interview. And then a contact, you need to, yes, of course, you have a resource already. You need to have a contact. You also need to have a contact when you're looking for a job. A contact is any employment communication with a resource. This could be meeting with someone face to face, making a phone call, sending email, submitting application and your resume, or sending a follow-up note. So you need to have someone whom you can touch base with if you are applying for the position. So you need to make sure that you have their contact details, such as email and phone numbers, and so that you can make a follow up to see if they have received your application. Or you can contact someone so that you could be prepared for the prepare for the interview. So once you have identified your resource and contacts and your contacts, like the companies that you're interested to work with, you can start sending your resume to their job opportunities that you think that your skills are matched to. And then again, get their contact details, so that when you send your resume and you apply for the position, you can make a follow-up, if to me just to make sure that they have received your application or not. And once and for sure, if you applied for a company, they would send you a letter back if you are qualified or not. So if you're not receiving anything, then might possibly na hindi nila na-receive yun. So you have to really reach out to see if they have you know they have been able to miss yung application nyo. Anyway, another best way to start in landing a better job actually is through networking. But networking with others works best if you know what to say. So actually, most of the people thought that when applying for the position, they just need to have resume, but it's clearly not. First thing that you need to have is really a network. If you have good networks like in church, we have a self-reliance program, and the self-reliance program has really good networks of companies and people that are looking for employees. So um you need to also nail things pagdating sa mga ganung bagay. So when you are, when you're doing networking um with other people, it works best if you know what to say. So in church, we in self-reliance program, we have this Amy in 30 seconds, and this is the best tool for you to to contacting people or businesses if you're a small business owners as well. So it helps people to understand what job you're looking for and how they can help. So these Amy in 30 seconds, would allow you to tell your name, what kind of jobs you're looking for, and why you're good at it, and then ask for specific help. So it's like when you're networking, you send out, you connect with people by giving your name, what job are you looking for, and then your somehow your qualification, and you ask for assistance or help to see if they have opening. For example, with myself, what I normally do, I have this LinkedIn profile kasi. So LinkedIn profile is like a professional Facebook. So most of the IT professionals and high level executives and people who are starters are in this platform. So it's like Facebook, but mostly naghahanap ng trabaho and nagre-recruit ng mga tao na mabibigyan ng trabaho. So yeah, for this, what I do sa LinkedIn, pag if I'm in my job search, I just connect to the person and then add on the comment side. Kasi pag mag-a-add ka doon ng parang sa friend sa Facebook, once you add them, meron doon add comment. So what you can do is just simply tell them that, hi, I'm Johnllery Reyes. I'm currently on my job search for a position in human resource department. So I have been working in the IT industry for more than 6 years, handling full cycle and end-to-end recruitment. May I know if you have any opportunity that match my work experience or skill sets? So that's how you ask people professionally for if they have an opening, because not all of them are really posting their job opportunities sa company nila, just because probably the hiring manager might someone in mind that could fill the position. But if you feel like, if you have research for a company and you feel like they have been needing a lot of people to support them, then you try to reach out to the right people. So normally, for this kind of situation, if you're looking for a job, you connect with people that are recruit that has um tawag dito, yung parang naka-titles dun sa LinkedIn profile nila. For example, ako, John Larry Reyes or John Reyes, nakalagay dun is uh, talent acquisition coordinator or talent acquisition specialist or recruitment specialist, yung mga involved sa recruitment. So these people could definitely help you out, uh, because they have a lot of connections. They have different clients that they could put you in. Just tell them exactly. Just be there. Just be direct to the point. Just tell them what exactly you're looking for, and what are the things that what are your capabilities, and what exactly do you need. What assistance do you actually need, because there are people as well who are looking for, there are also employers who are looking for employees. Like for example, uh, when I started running a business, a recruitment firm, ang nagre-reach out sa akin is yung mga employers naman. So they tell me, they introduce themselves to me and what they do as a company, and then they tell me that they are looking for IT professionals and if I could help them out with their needs para ma-diretso nila yung project niya. So in your case, as an applicant, you have to make sure you tell them exactly your skill sets and tell them exactly what you're looking for. So hindi tayo yung mag-aantay tayo ng mga job opportunities or job posting. So as a job seeker, if you sabi ko nga kanina, if you are really working hard in finding a job, it's easy for you to get a job because you connect to your networks, you expand your network, you make sure that you connected the people with the right things that you need para makahanap ka ng trabaho. So your me in 30 second is one of the job search skills that allows you to work smart. So you have a good meet in 30 seconds when it consistently leads you to help what you need. So you have to practice me in 30 seconds often and get feedback. And when you try to connect with people, even in Facebook actually guys, when you actually see a job posting and then syempre sasabihin dun sa job posting that yeah, we have an opening right now, customer service representative or software engineer, please PM me for details. So how would you introduce yourself? You know, it's easy if you would be able to right there and then tell this, me in 30 seconds. Or if they might call you, you would be able to actually be prepared for what exactly how you would introduce yourself. So yun, so instead of tatanungin nyo sila na for example, PM me for details. Instead of you telling them that, "Hi, I'm looking for a job and I'm interested with the job opportunity that you have." Instead of just like that, you tell them right you message them right there and then of your me in 30 seconds. Do you guys does it make sense ba? Yan. So you don't need to really exchange much information. So they will be right there and then tell you if that as of the moment we do not have an opening for that kind of opportunity, but you can send your profile at my email address. So should we have any other opportunities in the future, we would reach back to you. So yun, they would give you a courtesy message instead of exchanging message na parang, "Hi, I'm interested for this. Yeah, can you send your resume?" And then once you send your resume, sabihin nila, "What are the things that you have been doing?" Yada yada. Do you have some time for a call? So hindi na kayo magwe-waste ng time. You won't waste much time and effort to really connect. And if they are really interested with your profile, they would really ask you to send your resume and they would contact you right there and then. So that's a time that you have to really be prepared. So the mistake of most job seekers um, make is spending their time sending out resumes yun nga, when they should be spending their time networking, connecting with key people in their industry and building relationships. So I highly suggest that you guys build your network, maintain your network, connect with the people in making hiring this the people that makes hiring decisions, and directly work with them or connect with them. So if you are this kind of job seeker, definitely you would be able to land a job because you are proactive, and more than being aggressive, you're really a proactive human. So and what should you do first? So it is the best time for you to see if it matches your skills to the employer's need. And this is another job search skill that will help you work smart. So yun nga, when you get to connect with people, that's the time that you will be led into the opportunities. So pag nakakonect kayo sa kanila, you would see their job posting or they would see your profile. And once they've seen your profile that you have an experience with this or you are a graduate of this, because in LinkedIn or in other platforms, they do not really care much if you have an experience or to not have an experience. If you have this background in engineering, and if you have, nailed to really express yourself in writing sa resume nyo and sa profile nyo sa LinkedIn, then absolutely somebody will connect to you, in terms of, um, if they are interested to have you for the job. And of course, not all of us, are already professional, because some of us are also studying. So in finding network, it's not just in LinkedIn. Finding networks is with the self-reliance program in church, and the people that we talk to every now and then. So if they get to see your skills, because ako sa totoo lang, naiinggit ako sa mga tao na maraming skills. Yung mga skilled workers, yan, yung marunong yung mga carpenter, yung mga marunong mag, magkumpuni. So I wish I would have more time to actually practice that as well. So if people knows that you're skilled or you're talented with certain things that you do on a daily basis, or specialize something, then your and you post that in Facebook, and you showcase, or you put that on your My Day, or possibly share that with your friends, and then that could be a referral in the future, whereas you can land the job, could be a temporary job or contract jobs, and sooner or later you'll never know. Skilled workers are really in demand now in Canada and Australia and in New Zealand. So these people that are skilled, that cannot be found in the LinkedIn platform or like the professional platform, these are the people who could easily, migrate into United States, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia, because they are the people whom they are looking for the needs of their country. So yun, you just need to really find uh, what you're passionate to do, what you're capable of doing, and by then you get to assess what are the things that you could do to help yourself out in finding those job opportunities. So successful job seekers uh, take the time to understand what the employer ordered. So they serve like a perfect application for the resume interview to meet the employer's needs. So once you have identified the employer wants, your next step to figure it out is to check your skill sets and experience if it matches what they need. So this is like simply asking yourself, do I have that skill? Or what experience do I have doing that? So the more example or accomplishment you can think of, the better. So if you feel like you're capable, once you have read the job description, and once somebody has advised you that, hey, we have an opening about this, and these are the things that they will be doing if you will get this position. So you assess yourself, no? Hindi lang talaga basta-basta tayo mag-grab na opportunity na sige, pasok mo ako diyan, tatrabaho ako diyan. No, because we might disappoint ourselves. And in the long run, if not just disappointing ourselves, we might disappoint our employer. That might lead into a termination. And once it led into a termination, that's not really a good thing on your profile. So we have to make sure that we know ourselves, we know what we're capable of doing before we apply for a position. So the best way to show you meet the employer's needs with the power is going to be with a power of statement. So a power of statement briefly describes your previous experiences and accomplishments by sharing specific example and outcome. So think of them like a small story. So other other people might have similar qualifications, but nobody has done exactly the same things. So rather than list of generic skills that anyone could say, use a power statement. So with the power statement, it could take more than like 30 to 45 seconds. Like first, the formula for this from the resources that I've got, from the resource that I've got from self-reliance program is you have to claim a skill or experience. Next is to give an example, give a result, and match the skill to the needs of the employer. So, in my case, for example, sa akin, What I can tell is I have been doing end-to-end recruitment for quite some time now, and recently I've worked with IBM, where I have handled IT niche job requisitions, and I have sourced candidates in using different job boards and analyzed the job market and platform where I could find the IT professionals. I have also conducted interviews, endorsed qualified candidates to the hiring managers for the final interview, and as a result, I get to fill the needs of their IT department team that allows them to start the project they have acquired with their end clients. And I can think that I can certainly put the same expertise to work for you. So, but of course, not all of us has the same experience like what I do. So here are some of the power statements for a return missionaries and a small business owner who are seeking for the job. So as a return missionaries, I know that you guys would really step back muna, parang magtatrabaho na ba ako, or kaya ko na ba to, or most of us are really focused sa idea na parang ay kailangan ko na talaga magtrabaho, or napupukpok tayo talaga kasi um, we have to, aside from we have to redeem ourselves to become a self-reliant. So this is how you would present yourself to the employers. So I am a return missionaries of our church, where I have invited, taught people about the gospel, and help them to come unto Christ. With that experience, I can build and motivate people and teams. So you have to actually relate what you do dun sa trabahong ina-applyan mo, or possibly na ginagawa nila. So as a full-time volunteer for my church, I was asked to lead a team of other eight or other volunteers who were not unified and were not meeting goals. Back then, when I was leading, I have identified the needs and developed of this specific series of trainings and commitments to help them improve it. And as a result, the group began achieving and then exceeding their goals. I can certainly help your teams to come together and to meet and exceed goals. So you just, present the reality of what you have done as a when you were in a mission. Not exactly you would tell them, because not all of the people would really understand what you guys do, but you have to tell them, what are some factors that what are the skills that you have acquired during your mission that you can apply as a team player, or as someone who would be able to join a team of many people. So ganon. And for the small business owner, you can simply tell that as a small business owner, I can solve problems. For example, in our family business, we needed a system to track expenses. I developed a tracking system and identified a supplier who was overcharging us on invoices. As a result of my system, I was able to correct the overcharges and save our business. And I know that I can apply the same problem solving skills for you. So the main thing here is you know how to position yourself. You understand? So you tell what you have done in the past, and what are the skill sets that you have acquired from your experience, from that experience, and what was the result of what you've done as a return missionary, or as a small business owner. And then how would you tell them, how would you convince them that you can certainly help them with what they need as an employer. So that's how you position yourself. So you use statement. So power statement will help you stand out as the clear choice more than anything else that you can do. So use them in your resume, contacts, and interviews. So practice this skill. Prepare dozens of power statements and pray for Heavenly Father to help you, and you will see greater success. So written material. So these are the resumes, cover letters, and applications. And these are really essential part of any successful job search. So you would want to make a good impression in writing as you do in person. So each of your resume, cover letters, and application should be written into specific job that you're applying to. So you'll know that you have a good written materials when you get a consistent interviews, of course. So what are the things that you need to actually have on your resume ba? So, so for the resume, first thing first thing that you need to have is the summary of your experience. So summary of your experience is like, how long have you been working as a, for example sa akin, how long I have been working as a recruiting specialist, and in what industry I have worked to, and then what are the tools that I used in recruitment, and what are the job requisitions that I handled, and my my training, and my degree. So those are like that's like the summary of your experience sa in nakabuuan. So that will allow your employer to actually wow, alam mo yan, parang dapat on the summary experience pa lang, you would get a chance to capture their attention, kasi that would allow them to really get excited more in reading your resume. And on the latter part, you need to have your, your sorry, you need to have your work experience. Of course, if you don't have work experience, that's fine. Just put there the trainings that you have attended. But of course, in creating a resume, you just not simply put training. I have been trained for radio script writing. You have to put some description on what are the things that you have done in that specific training or seminar, especially when you don't have work experience. Because when you have work experience, you would need to put your job title, how long did you stay to that company, and then your job description. Without the job description, it will be hard for the employer to gauge your skill set. So it's really important that if you have a work experience, you put a thorough and clear and concise the job description for what you have done or what you have been actually doing right now. And then for the training, and for training, you have to make sure, if you don't have, that a backup experience, make sure that on the training part you put some description of what you have exactly done. You have exactly have done on that training. And then of course, you put your education as well, so that will add up to see kung, so if they would see your education, then definitely they could see if you could be a potential for their job opening. For example, their opening is an IT help desk position. And if you have studied information technology, then definitely you could be the right person, even though you don't have an experience, because you have the foundation. So the foundation on how to support people in IT industry. So ganon. That's why it's really imperative for you to really have a detailed resume. It may sound really easy to do, pero sobrang crucial part siya. And then you need to create a cover letter. So a cover letter often accompanies with your resume. It functions as an introduction and should encourage the employer to then read your resume. So the cover letter can help the company understand why you're interested uh, in the opportunity that they have, and why do you think that the company would be wise to hire you. So good cover letters open with a power statement to capture the reader's interest quickly. So it's like an interview over sa pagsusulat. So you're just like introducing yourself, telling things why you want to apply for the company na meron sila. What are the things that you think you are potential? What are the relevant skill sets that you think you have that could be used sa company na meron sila? So so that it would be easy for you to sell yourself. Because if you would just simply put some generic things, that's why it needs to be personalized. When you're applying for a position, doesn't mean that you already have a cover letter for this, for your along with your resume. That's already your cover letter. You have to personalize it when you're applying for a certain position, because the company that you're applying for would definitely read that and see how you actually how eager you are to join on their company. But if they would see just like simple and generic stuff that people put on their cover letters, um, most likely that's something that, you know, objectives na nakita lang natin sa Google or uh, some cover letters na parang I have a good communication skills and I can do this, I can do that. Meron pa nga example na resume na kumakalat sa Facebook na parang, what are your skills? Dahil kinopya lang sa Google, parang, I believe I can fly, I can reach the... ano, sobrang funny lang. Ayun, so, you have to personalize it. So you have to make sure that you put your intention, you check what is the company that you're applying for so that you can apply you can tell your employer, you can tell that employer what are the relevant skill sets that you have that you can, you know, you can um, introduce dun sa jobs na hinahanap nila. So the better you get a right the better you get at writing them, uh, the more success you will have. And of course, when you know when you're writing down your resume, make sure that you put the work in it. So follow up with every resume and application that you submit. Um, for this shows your faith. When you apply for a certain position, and sometimes it's frustrating that, you know, people or employers never gets back to you. It's frustrating. But when you follow up with them and when you keep on applying for the position that you think that you're qualified for, you know, that shows your faith, and that allows you to linger to Heavenly Father, that He would really be able to help you to land a job, and that you would realize that it's just really challenging to look for an opportunity, but you know that He is redirecting you to the right path or to the right opportunity because you're preparing yourself. You work hard on how you prepare yourself for an interview, and you just don't simply, you know, keep on applying. You follow up with your application so that you would know what you are lacking, you know, what are the things that you may need to improve at. If even when you have been interviewed, you have to seek for you have to seek for the feedback, because if not, you will not know what are the things or the areas of opportunities that you may need to improve on. So always remember that, always follow up, as this shows your faith, and make sure that, you know, you'll better know what exactly you're lacking and areas of opportunities are. So interviews are one of the last steps in, you know, getting a job. So the purpose of an interview is to definitely get a job offer. So as we all know, the Lord has promised that if ye are prepared, you shall not fear. So if you prepare well for your interview, you can replace fear in confidence for sure. That's one thing, no. Um, and this in this section na i-discuss natin, you know, on on the interviewing skills that you may need to have, you first need to, you know, develop the following. Prepare, of course, before the interview. Open the interview effectively. Use me in 30 seconds. That's when you can use me in 30 seconds, and use the power statements. So pagsasama-samahin na natin sila, because we have learned on how we actually find a network, and once we find a network, we now have an opportunity to see what are the jobs that are available for us in the market that we have chosen, or in the fields that we have chosen. And then we get to connect with them, contact them, and people will definitely be asking you for your resume and your profiles. And then once you have been given a chance to, you know, to be invited for an interview, you have to prepare yourself. So prepare before the interview. So most of the interviews will ask combination of common interview questions and job specific questions. So you already know how to identify the employer needs, so you can use that skill to figure out what the employer will probably ask you, diba? So next would be open the interview effectively. So where when you open an interview, there are simple things that you can do to make really a good impression. You know, uh, what are the do's and don'ts that we need to remind ourselves with that. First is you have to dress one level above the company's dress standard. If they ask you to to be on a smart casual pag nag-apply kayo, just dress one level above the company's dress standard. Use your clothes sa simbahan, then definitely that's something that I always use when I'm applying for the position. Even though na sa video call, I get to use my neckties, my polos, my long sleeves. So you have to dress to impress. That's one thing. Next is arrive 5 minutes or 10 minutes early on your for before your interview. So even with Zoom video calls and scheduled calls or Zoom video calls, you have to make sure that you allow yourself to be prepared. Like dapat yung signal nyo maayos, yung camera nyo working, yung yung mic nyo working or your headset nyo is working, because at the end of the day, if those stuffs do not work, then wala, it's a bad thing na agad. It's a bad impression na with your employer. Also, you need to be 5 to 10 minutes early because most of them um, will be on time for sure sa mga interviews that they will be conducting. And then use positive body language. When we say you have to use positive body language, is you sit up straight. You sit up straight, look at the interviewer's eye when answering his or her questions. Just not like slouch. Don't slouch. Parang, yes, ganyan, ganyan. Ano, kamusta na? Again, let's not try to be, unprofessional, even though wala tayo sa office. Uh, do not dress too casually. Parang casual lang, naka-rubber shoes ka and ano ka. Siguro pag naka-Zoom call, ganyan. Pwede naman yung taas, okay na. Tapos, naka-shorts ka lang. Basta hindi, wag ka lang tatayo at nakikita yung shorts mo. Just make sure that you're presentable on video. So there, you never be late. Of course, those are the things that you should not be doing. And, do not use negative body language like slouching. So during the interview, use your me in 30 seconds. Often, one of the first interview questions will be asked to you is, tell me about yourself. So a me in 30 seconds adapted to an interview setting is a great response to this question. Of course, dun sa me in 30 seconds that we have for interviews is slightly different. So for example, you don't usually use your name. You don't need to tell your name by then. And instead of asking for referrals or what like how you do the networking part, you close it by showing your interest in the company and position. So you don't need to use me in 30 seconds mo in last part na parang uh, may I know if you have an opportunity that you know might be a great fit for me. So you no longer need to ask that, because you are now showing your capabilities, and you're showing your personality during the interview, and you need to be just direct. You need to be direct to the point at all times. So the more you improve your interview skills, the more that you will have a success. So once you applied for a job and then get into the first interview and then second interview, there will pahirap siya ng pahirap. It's not really easy. Like if sa unang interview tinanong ka lang kung ano yung mga ginagawa mo, the second interview would definitely be harder, because by this time you would be part of the selection hiring panel, whereas you will be asked um you will be asked scenarios na, for instance, you have to turn negative into positives, and you are expected to ask questions. So you have to make sure that you'll be able to close the interview effectively. Whereas you will be asked situational questions, and you have to be really true with, with your experience, and you have to be authentic. And if not, they would see that. They would see if you are not being true to yourself. Eh. If you are just like telling good things about you, uh, and they would see, they would know if you just, keep on telling things na parang I'm this, I'm that. Parang you are just like really describing yourself the way that what exactly they are looking for. You not you don't want to sell yourself that way. You tell them your experience, your story. What are the things that you are doing as a, for example, as an HR, and what are the tools that you are using, how you manage your team, how you manage your client, how you manage your people, how you interact with the customers, how you interact with the people that you work with. So um one point of, turning negatives into positive, like for example, a potential employer may have concerns about hiring you. This could stem from your employment history, experience, or age, or any number of things. They will often ask your questions about these things in interview, like for instance, why did you leave your last position? And normally tinatanong talaga yan. Kasi pag nakita nila yung resume nyo, parang, oh, ang unti lang ng, parang 3 months ka lang dito ah. So why did you leave your last position? And sabihin ng iba parang, kasi yung company ko, ang tag dito, ang pangit, yung manager kasi ganito, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. Tapos wala kaming benefits, laging late ang sahod. You do not want to discount your previous company. Yeah, do not discount or tell any bad things about your previous employer. Instead, tell them that you're just like looking for a better opportunity. Tell them that you prefer to work you tell them your preferred working environment, like for instance, like a challenging role that would allow you to learn more as a recruiter, as a customer service representative, or as an IT professional. Tell them that you would like to learn new technologies that would allow you to have a career growth in the future. So you do not tell na parang umalis kasi ako dun kasi yung boss ko kasi talaga naman araw-araw lagi na lang ako binabad trip. So you do not discount. Never ever discount your previous employers. And then other things would be, tell me about a time you didn't get along with your coworker, and what is one of your weaknesses. So when faced with these types of questions, try to resolve the possible concern using honest and favorable terms, preferably, for example, um, the employer may not hire you because you are young. Then they feel like you don't have an experience. So you tell them, right, you tell them, nah, it's not really about that. You tell them how many years of experience do you have, and directly relate your experience with what you are expert about, and that is relevant with the job that you're applying for. You redirect. Always redirect. Do not focus on the yung parang butas na nakita nila sa na parang I may be young, but I know that I have the skill sets, and I can, I can be a good help. I could be an asset of your company because these are the things that I have done in the past, even though this may be completely not the same thing that you guys what are doing, but I know that this is relevant with what you do for this position. So you turn things, babalik mo dun sa position na ina-applyan mo. And then lastly, on the interview part, you would ask to be you would be asked if you have questions. So somewhere near the end of interview, definitely, you will typically be asked about it. So you should have a few questions ready to help you gain more information and show interest in the opportunity. So what are the good questions that you ask? Because tayo, pag for example, magkano po yung sahod? Di ba? Pag yung last interview na parang, magkano po yung sahod dito? How much yung salary po? No, we should not be, do not ask about money, benefits, or schedules at this point of interview. Do not talk about things that, until the employer brings them up or offer is extended to you. All right. I know that sometimes that concerns you, of course. Um, but at the end of the day, just like what I mentioned, you are looking for a job that you're happy to do, and then dadating sa point that yung sahod and yung benefits will just follow, you know, and things that you can possibly ask with the interviewer would be, how does this position contribute to the organization? Like, you're asking them na parang, paano nagko-contribute ba tong position na to na ina-applyan ko to this organization, so that you would know more information, because the interviewer would tell you na parang, ay, ito kasi yung ginagawa nila, ganito, ganyan, ganyan, nagko-connect sila sa stakeholders, ganito, ganyan, ganyan. So you are getting more information about the job, and that would help you to actually uh, prepare yourself for the next round of interview. Kasi most likely that's going to be a technical interview or behavioral interview or an interview with the hiring manager. So that shows you as well your genuine interest in an opportunity that you're applying for. So you also ask questions like, what is the training like for this role? So you ask them kung paano yung training. I mean, syempre, minsan wala pa tayong experience eh. Paano po yung training? Ganun. So what is the training like for this role? Or where do you see the company in 5 years? So parang ibabalik mo sa kanila. Kasi normally, how do you see yourself 5 years from now? So you tell you throw them back the question that, where do you see the company in 5 years from now? Kasi that would allow the interviewer to figure out na parang, oh, gusto nito magtagal sa kumpanya. So gusto niya makita kung paano yung nagiging progress ng company namin, and most likely he has, the career path that he would like to take. So that shows more of your interest with the company. And then, of course, lastly would be close the interview effectively. So what you say and do at the close of your interview can have the lasting impact on how favorably your interviewer remembers your conversation. So when you stand up to leave, make an eye contact, smile, shake hands again, and if that's appropriate, of course, to the culture, or if the situation, like for example this pandemic, we're not shake, we don't do handshakes, right? So call the interviewer by name. Sometimes the interviewer does not want to be called as ma'am or sir. Just call them by their first name. Thank the interviewer for his or her time or his interest about your profile, and then determine what's the next step in the process and how you would follow up. So you might say something like, what are the next steps and how should I follow up, so that the interview would tell you, oh, okay, we will reach out to you, so that hindi ka clueless kung ano yung mga nangyayari sa susunod. So sabihin nila sa'yo na parang, yeah, we'll reach out via phone call or via email and let you know what would be the next step. And just tell them that you have enjoyed your visit and your interview with him or her, and you would like to hear from them sooner or later. So those stuff that you may actually want to actually share. So um brothers and sisters, the Lord has promised that if you are really prepared, you shall not fear. And prepare by praying for help, of course. Prepare by practicing as much as possible. Like, in many ways, your job search is a lot like this funnel. Like, it takes a lot of effort doing the basics of identifying resources and making contacts to funnel down to the job leads, interviews, and job offers. And I could tell that the more resources and contacts you make by working hard for that network that you guys have been building, and by doing all of those, and you would definitely help yourself to uplift your eagerness to learn the job market, and you would help yourself to acquire new skill sets and how you would be able to prepare for the next interviews that you have. So, you know working hard is sometimes not really enough. It's just really important to work smart, so that more of the contracts, more of your contacts and resources turns into leads, interviews, and job offers. But anyway, so those are the things that I just want to tackle to this discussion about the on how you would be able to prepare yourself to land a better job. So at this point, do you have like questions or clarification that you would like to ask me now, so that I can see if that's something that we could discuss somehow? Di ba sabi sa interview, you ask questions so that you could gather information.
And so puwede na po tayong mag-ask yung mga participants. Lahat po tayo puwede pong mag-ask. The floor is open for questions and answer from Brother Reyes. Sige. Siguro ako na lang po yung mag-ask. Yung,
Sige.
ah, hypothetically po, pero kasi siyempre rare din siya nangyayari. Like for example, nag-apply or nagpasa ako ng resume sa maraming, for example, kumpanya and then, ah, like for example, tatlong interview gano'n. And then tapos na yung interview tapos hypothetically nakapasok ako sa tatlo. How can I
Mm.
politely, parang reject ba ang tawag do'n or
Reject the other job
tawag yung
offers.
opo, yung ibang job offers.
Yeah, that happens a lot. That happens a lot. Like if yan yung sinasabi nating fruit of our success in connecting with people and doing networking, and it's not really a bad thing for you to reject a job offer. You can just simply tell them that you have just recently signed a contract that has these benefits, and that has this working environment that you are actually looking for, and they feel like you would be more successful in your career with this line of business ng job. So just tell them that you are you would like to work with them in the future, as you try to enhance your skill sets and improve your areas of opportunities that could allow them to use you into more better opportunities na meron sila in the future. It's not like you're rejecting them, but you're telling them that you, as of the moment, you feel like that your skill sets, you're being humble. Like you're telling them that you feel like you are will be more used of dun sa position or sa job na in-applyan mo ngayon. Ay na sinain mo ng offer. And that's really a good question, kasi that happens a lot, and medyo frustrating yun sa part ng ng employer na parang akala ko meron ng tutulong sa akin. That happens to me a lot, na parang I have people who have signed the job offers but eventually just back out just because they have gotten a better opportunity, and we have to understand them. And yeah, I tell you, they completely understand you. So
Anyone else?
it's better for you to tell them. Yeah, so just one another thing, and you better tell them that you have signed a job offer already with other company, because in the future, they might came across again with your profile, and nakita nila na nag-resign ka na, they might pick you. And then pag sinabi nila, ay, hindi naman to, ito yung tanda ko to, nasa application tracking system natin to, hindi ako in-update nito na hindi pala siya magjo-join sa atin eh. So it's another thing, kasi yung mga recruiter or yung mga employers, no, they have this application tracking system where they can track what transpired during the hiring process. So they have this uh, pattern where they could put na parang this person declined the job offer just because of this. And then eventually, pag nakita nila na parang, uy, meron na tayong ganito that we could offer to him. Why not try to contact him again? Alam mo yan, na parang, ay, kaya hindi tayo in-accept nito dati kasi wala tayong benefits na ganito. So just because we have now benefits or better compensation, we can reach back to you and then tell you ano, interesado ka na ba kasi meron na kami nito. So mga ganung bagay. So it's better for you to really have a courtesy message or email or call with your recruiter or with the person that you're in touch with for the job offer that you have declined. Kasi ganun din ang ginagawa na. They also give a courtesy call if you did not make it. Meron talaga na hindi nagka-update pero most of the recruiters, most of the time, they tell you right there and then what are the areas that we need to improve on. And that's a win-win situation at the end of the day. Any question po? I think
Ayan, kung nahihiya po
there,
tayo mag-ask sa boses, we can also chat our
chat,
question.
yes.
Opo.
Opo, pwede pong Tagalog or English or kahit curiosity niyo po about looking for a job opportunity, just let me know. Ayan.
Ako
Ayan.
po
So, ayan, mukhang may
magtanong po ako.
question si San Pablo Ward second.
Rinig po ba ako? Rinig po ako.
Yes, rinig naman, rinig naman.
Ah, mas better po ba na halimbawa sa interview, pag nagsasalita po yung interviewer ng Tagalog, is it better move na mag-speak in English or the same ng language lang po na ginagamit ng interviewer? Or is it
That's a good question.
rude na pag nagtagalog sa English pa rin yung pagsalita natin?
Yep, that's a good question. Well, you have to adjust with the pacing of your interviewer all the time because not all of the hiring managers um, are really a good communicator or we could never tell that they really have an excellent communication skills and have good English in terms of modular in their communication. Parang yeah, if they ask you in Tagalog and if you're comfortable to answer that in Tagalog, much better. So you have to adjust as well. If you have to adjust your pacing, parang sa pag-interview kasi is during the interviews kasi is once the interviewer asked you ng malumanay, dapat malumanay ka din sumagot. Ganun. So, kailangan i-adjust mo yung bilis at bagal ng boses mo. So, kung mabilis siya magsalita, bilisan mo din ng konti yung salita mo. And then once nagtagalog siya, that means that he is comfortable communicating with you in Tagalog or possibly he would like you to express yourselves more clearly kaya siya nagtagalog para makapagtagalog ka. So those are like cue words for you to really do the same thing na ginagawa niya. So you have to adjust with whatever things that he does or whatever things that he asks you about and whatever how he actually communicates with you. So always adjust on the interviewer's pacing.
Okay, thank you po.
Thanks.
Good evening, brother. This is Jason,
Yes,
brother Jason. How about
yes,
if
Jason.
the during the employment, the employees forgot or hung up to answer the questions of the employer?
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to overcome that scenario?
Like for example, you can't answer the question that
Answer
was
the
asked to you.
questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, basically, you just really have to be honest. Just tell them that that's something that I do not have an experience with right now. To be honest with you, and I don't want to share things that's not been part of what I have been doing before. But what I can tell you is that I think that my experience with this, ititwist mo siya. Ititwist mo siya yung turning into negative to positive. My experience with this, I think, is relevant with with that particular things that you asked me about, and that could help the company about this and that and that. So you have to admit yourself that you have to admit to the interviewer that you do not have an experience with that. Kasi baka dumating sa point na nagsabi tayo that we have an experience with that, and then pag dumating na dun sa actual job, hindi natin alam gawin. That would, kasi may mga tao naman talaga na parang wicked, magaling sa interview talaga. But then at the end of the day, yung honesty, yung integrity is really important with with during the interview process. Kasi yung integrity that allows you to that allows them to know yung kabuuan ng personality mo as an employee. So you just need to be honest that you do not know about it, and then lahat naman ng mga employers, they consider people that has potential. Yun lagi yung tatandaan. They are the people who are interviewing you could not really find someone who's perfectly fit for the job, but they always look for people who has potential. So long as they see that you're eager to do the job and you have relevant skill sets that for the job that you're applying for, then definitely they will hire you. Just need to be honest.
Thank you very much.
Yan, thank you po. So, we don't have that much time po.
Yeah.
Pero, syempre, andyan pa rin si Brother Reyes to answer all our questions. We can
Mm,
approach him privately siguro sa Facebook. Tama po
yeah.
ba? Okay lang po yan.
Yes.
Yan.
Absolutely. Anyway, yeah, we have a lot of openings right now, as well sa recruitment company that I have founded. So we have like IT professionals, job requisitions, and we also have customer service representative needs and technical support. So you could visit our page, JLR Consultancy, and you could see there what are the job opportunities or what's in store for you. And also, brothers and sisters, before I end this training, um you know no matter how hard it is to find a job at this time of pandemic, I'd like to remind you that Heavenly Father knows what you're capable of doing, that your talents are his works, and so you will land a better job for sure and become a self-reliant as you follow the formula of acting in faith, working hard, and working smart. And this will lead you to a success, whereas you Heavenly Father sees how eager you are and how you're acting in your faith to become a self-reliant. And I know that all the things that we've shared here tonight are true, and I leave these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
And so
Thank you,
thank you po
guys.
for the tips, and we also thank you for all the messages, especially yung last message po. It's very true. And ulitin ko lang yung company, yung JLR Consultancy. We can all visit that and ask si Brother Reyes to assist us also, di ba? And to close this meeting, we will be having our closing prayer. Siguro pipili na lang ako. And then after that, we will take photos para masaya. Yan. So, siguro ang mag-pray na lang para sa atin. Okay lang ba si Brother Diva? Vitus Diva?
Sige po.
Yan. Thank you in advance po.
Sige po, let's pray. Our dear most loving gracious Heavenly Father, we are so grateful for this opportunity to learn more, to find better employment. We thank the Heavenly Father for our resource speaker for giving us the things that we need to know. And we thank the Heavenly Father dahil binibigyan niyo po kami ng resources to learn about these things. We ask the Heavenly Father na i-bless niyo po itong things sa mga natutunan namin, that we will be able to ponder about it and be able to apply it in case that we need to find a job or we really need a job. We ask you to please bless our resource speaker din as well na magawa niya rin po yung mga things na kailangan niyang gawin to keep yung kanyang business to run. We love you so very much, Heavenly Father, in this we pray. Sa pangalan ni Yesu Cristo. Amen.
And so I invite
Amen.
all to open our cameras if possible. Yan. Sige. So, hintayin natin yung iba.
JL, thank you.
Sige, okay
Thank
na
you,
po si Sir.
guys.
So, I'll take the photo na po. So, in 1, 2, 3. Isa pa po. 1, 2, 3. Yan. Thank you po. Thank you po,
Thank
brother.
you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Brother Reyes. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Reyes.
Thank you, JL.
Thank you, Bishop.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Kuya Ni.